about like the being so naive when you're a rookie and like you kind of see articles coming out about guys that are older and you don't really know what to think. And now being older, you've caught yourself in like, not crossfires, but you've caught yourself in situations like, hey, what's KB up to? What's he thinking? Like there are all these new news articles out about you in the beginning of the year. I remember texting you and be like, hey, if you want to talk about it,
I remember that.
Free range. It was like,
I was in Cabo.
Yeah, it was in March.
It was in March.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, if you want to talk about it, this can be your platform or whatever. And you're like, hey, I'll get back to you. Never got back. That's fine. We're here now.
I didn't.
But
it was a reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. But do you want to talk about your situation with that at all? Like, this is kind of your place to do it.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing was like you said, when you text me, I was in Cabo, right? And so yeah, obviously, we had mini camp last week. I did the interview, and obviously they asked me a whole bunch of questions about it, and and obviously I'm you're the boys, you know what I'm saying? So feel a little bit more comfortable talking about stuff like that. But dealing with the whole situation, when I was in Cabo and that thing happened in March, like, the conversation between the team, my agency, it happened like a month ago.
Yeah.
And so, like, I kind of already knew the situation, you know what I'm saying? So when I was on the beach, literally with my wife, kids are in playing in the sand. I'm just kind of sitting back and like, I really wasn't paying attention to my phone, but like, people start texting my phone and like my agent called me. He's like, hey, you been talking to the media or anything like that? I said, bro, I'm on the beach. Like, what you mean? So then I jump on social media and I see my mentions blowing up. It's like, somebody was doing a radio show. I don't know who it was here in Nashville. Was like, oh, KB asked for a trade or
Will
asked to be released or something like that. It probably was. He probably was the leak. Probably might be the source.
Yeah, it's the leak.
So
just build it up even more. KB wants
like,
out.
Bro, like, and it was just weird because I'm like, how does this come out? Because obviously I'm not talking to anybody and anything like that. So that was just weird. And like you say, you reached out to me. But I don't know. I just think like with the whole situation where I just kind of felt like it was, for me personally, like, silence is golden. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I just had to kind of go dark for a little bit, just because the simple fact is that, it's very easy to get your emotions involved. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, when my agent told me, obviously he had a conversation with the team and kind of reported back to me about everything, it was very easy to be emotional because I'd be lying if I didn't say I felt the way about it. You know what I'm saying? I'd be lying if I said that I didn't like, what? They asked for what? You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, like, there's no, like, you can't be emotional in business.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just being real, like, you make an emotional decision within y'all business, more than likely it's going to be bad business. You know what I'm saying? So I had to find a way to make sure that, just to compartmentalize everything and just kind of keep my emotions out of it when I'm making these different decisions and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, it was, it happened, you know what I mean? And I think we're in a good place right now.
I think for what it's worth, you do a really good job separating the emotional and the business side because it is super easy to get caught up. Like, I can only imagine the first time you're getting that phone call because at the end of the day, it is just business.
It is just business.
But I would almost imagine like you get a call like that and you're somebody who you just finished your 7th year?
7th year. I'm going on year 8.
Never haven't missed a game since you started in your first year. I think it was like week 10. You haven't missed a game.
Correct.
And you've done all, knock on wood.
Yeah, we'll keep knocking on that.
And you've done all this essentially for the team. Like, you're a leader, you're a captain, you've had your growth in the Titans organization. Right, everybody knows it, everybody sees it. So
became a man in the Tennessee Titan franchise.
Yeah, so I could almost assume your first emotion, of course, is going to be emotional because it's like, hang on now, what are we fucking talking about?
Because it was just one of those things where just like, I just didn't really understand it at first. You know what I mean? And I'm just like...
Just for clarity, they called and they were like, hey, would he take a pay cut? Is that what happened?
So it was more like... So, obviously, Combine.
Yeah.
This is when the time where agents and finally get together with general managers. They have a conversation about players and...
New GM comes in. They're figuring out ways.
Exactly. Have a conversation about... I guarantee you almost every player, especially a veteran player on our team, had a conversation with the GM during the Combine or whatever. And I guess that was throughout there. And I don't know, like... Because obviously I wasn't in the room, so I don't really know how it was thrown out there. Because honestly, I ended last year and was like, talking to my agent, like, bro, like, I'm want to get extension. Like, I want to be here because obviously,
of course. Listen, and you're a player. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's what happens. If you're a good player in this league, you want to look at the year before your contract is up, and you're excited, especially if you have a hell of a year.
Exactly.
And you want to get on the phone excited selfishly for yourself. 100%. Like, that's not saying you're not a selfless player at all, but you're getting on the phone, and as a player, you're excited to know, like, hey, could we potentially make something happen and get an extension done?
And so, like I said, it was one of those things where, you know, at the end of the season, obviously we ended the season where it was, lost 7 games straight. It was very disappointing. It was a stressful time as far as me being the player. It was very stressful. Because like you said, that was even just looking at my career, that was my first time ever having a losing season since like high school. I've never had like a losing season, especially the way it ended. Because we had so much promise, you know, 7-3, beat Green Bay Thursday night, then we lost 7 straight. It was miserable. Like, it was never really been in that situation before. But, you know, I did the clean out day and the media and everything. And I'm like, bro, like, I don't want to play for another organization. Like, this is my legacy. I love it here in Nashville. And so, you know, I have a conversation with my agent at the end of the season, like, because I kind of know, like, I'm a very business savvy person. I'm kind of smart. Like, I understand that. And I feel like we can pivot after this, but like kind of talking about John, and John was trying to sell out as much as he could to build a championship team. And so for myself, like, I restructured my contract twice. The first time I think was to sign Clowney, and the second time was I think after I went all pro or something like that. Restructured again. It might have been to sign Robert. It was something like that.
Yeah.
Because like you're trying to bring on talent, so you're trying to, you know, create cap space. But what that does is, what most people don't realize, what it does is it increases your cap hit later in the life of your contract. So, you know, you see people report, this guy's making this much money. That's not really how much money you're making, just accounting-wise. Your cap hit is here, but you may be making somewhere around here.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a situation where, like you said, you get a new GM that comes in. He just looks at this sheet and just like, man, I have, like, for example, you know, obviously you got released.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Jones got released. Bud got released. He's looking like, okay, the roster's a little bit weird. We're a little bit older now.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I got to clear cap space. I got to clear cap space from anywhere. And so, like I said, I mean, that was my idea of going into the conversation. So when my agent called me, he was like, hey, it kind of went another way. So like, obviously I wasn't in the room, so I don't really know exactly how, like, was it a situation where it's like, hey, we want to do extension. They just went the complete opposite way.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, maybe somewhere, you know what I'm saying? You know how
they could have said the first thing. You have no idea, like, the domino effect would happen.
Contract extension you're doing is like, Taylor, like, for example, let's use Taylor Lewan, for example. I want to make $30 million.
Yeah.
And the team is like, well, we want you to make 15.
Yeah.
And then you meet, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you kind of, like, everybody compromises.
Classic bartering situation.
Exactly. So I don't really know how that conversation went because I wasn't in the room.
Mm.
So, but when I got the news, I was like, wow, like, honestly, I was like, I didn't know how I was going to go because I'm like, I've never seen, at least from my preference, or at least from my view, a player, you know, get asked for a pay cut and then, you know, usually more than likely you get released or something like that. Or, you know what I'm saying? You take the pay cut, or it's like you're gone. So I didn't really understand how it was going to happen. So I was kind of preparing my mind for every different scenario. And I just felt that for me personally, like, it's no point to try to jump on the podcast or jumping on this because you may be still a little bit emotional right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to let this thing kind of, you know, discuss with your family, kind of really process everything from every angle before you, you know, go talking about it and stuff like that. So,
especially publicly. Yeah, man. You get out there publicly and start saying
deal,
stuff.
Bro. You know what I'm saying? It was weird for sure. But like I said, I kind of understand it. Like you said, I mean, Rand, I've had conversations with Rand, but like, I've never really been around Rand like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't really, obviously he knows me because obviously he's the general manager. Like, he watched tape, he watched football and stuff like that. But when you get to be around a guy, because he may be coming from a situation where it's like, you know, obviously John was the general manager who paid me and stuff like that. So it's like, you know, how every position in this league is, I won't say it's different, but it's classified differently. Like, left tackle is a premium position. Mm. Quarterback is a premium position. Safety might not be as premium as a left tackle. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, this guy's cap hit is super high, playing a non-premium position or whatever. We got to find a way to get this down. So I kind of respect it from that point on the business side of it. Like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he might not understand why a guy like John Robinson gave me the contract that he did, or wanted me to restructure it many times because of who I am, not just as a player, but as a person as well, in the community, in the locker room and things like that. So, but like I said, I think Rand's a good guy. He's cool, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have any ill feelings towards the whole situation. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You kind of just,
you've had time to process his emotions.
Yeah, it is what it is, bro. It's like, you kind of just take it for what it is. And, you know, obviously, you know, they asked to take a pay cut and I said no. You know what I'm saying? It was just, and that was not just an emotional Because I think people kind of, people on social media be quick like, yeah, KB, tell them no. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I had nothing to do. It's all business stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't like how it obviously leaked out there in the media that I asked to be released.
Yeah.
Because it was BS. I was like, what? Because, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of painting a bad narrative, just saying that, I'm just disgruntled. I don't want to be here no more.
Right, it makes you seem emotional.
He's making moves.
Yeah.
He's cutting my guys. I don't want to be here no more. Because that's not, it's further from the truth. So that one thing I didn't like. But other than that, man, it's just business, man.